Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Thanks, David. I'm still getting my head around the whole president thing. It wasn't my idea, but it sounds good. Dan Raphael in the house. You know you've got a big fight when Dan Raphael's in the house. Welcome, Dan. Well done to the Red Sox last night. I didn't have a clue what I was watching, but I knew they had to win, so I was very pleased with that. And they need to win again tonight, apparently. And we're safe on Saturday. So we'll be rooting for them. Really, really excited to be here in Boston, this great fight city, this beautiful city, ahead of a huge card, live on DAZN on Saturday night, live on Sky Sports as well, from the wonderful TD Garden Arena, home to so many great sporting occasions, and such a deep, stacked card for you on Saturday night. 3 World Championship fights, and such a big card that we had to have 2 press conferences to talk about the bouts on Saturday night. Of course, this is our second live US fight on DAZN. Our first one in Chicago was a wonderful event. Launched the platform, of course, with Anthony Joshua defending his Unified Heavyweight World Championships. And yesterday, of course, we welcomed Canelo and Golden Boy Boxing to DAZN, which is undoubtedly going to be the home of boxing over the next few years in the United States. Up on the stage here, we're going to welcome up everybody to speak. So many great talent, so many local fighters as well, rematches as well. And I'm delighted to welcome Ken Casey, our co-promoter, who will be up on stage shortly. Oh look, a round of applause for Ken Casey. He's worked very hard here this week. Well done, David. Who's going to be talking about particularly the DeLuca Wright rematch, which is a big fight for both. And also his heavyweight charge, Niall Kennedy. I'm going to start and bring up a very special young talent. When we watched the Rio Olympic Games in 2016, there are a few standout performers. Luckily enough, we were able to sign many of them, and this young man captured gold in the Rio 2016 Olympics. He's currently 3-0 as a pro, I believe a future world champion in the 147-pound division. And more importantly, his English is getting better and better, and he's going to speak to us in English today. And we want a big round of applause for the 2006 Olympic gold medalist from Kazakhstan, Daniil Yelusinov. Daniil, welcome.
Thank you.
I know you were trying this in English for the first time, so well done for that. But a great opportunity to fight in Boston, and I know that you're liking this city.
Yeah, I like the city, very beautiful. People so nice, and I like this weather. It's warm for me.
Obviously, 3 fights now. Your first fight, you debuted at the Barclays Center in New York. Your next 2 fights were in the UK. Pleased to be back fighting now in America.
Of course, I want to fight here more because United States is mecca of boxing.
And training out here full-time now, great team. John David Jackson, now your full-time trainer, and starting to really learn the ropes as a professional.
Yeah, very good, improve a lot. Jackson is a trainer that made champions, and he was a champion too. So he knows what to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, what about that Saturday night? Daniil Yelusinov. Well done, Daniil. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to call up to the stage now a young man from the UK, but based out here as well with Freddie Roach, his head trainer of the Wildcard Gym. A fantastic fighter, former WBA Super Bantamweight Champion of the World, fought Carl Frampton for the Unified Super Bantamweight World Championship. You saw him in a brilliant fight for the WBO Featherweight World Championship against Óscar Valdez in California earlier this year. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Scott Quigg. Scott, welcome.
First of all, I'm getting a bit old now, I'm 30.
I know.
I'm not a young man anymore.
Exactly. But you trained hard for this camp, brilliant fight with Óscar Valdez earlier this year, and now returning to the TD Garden, looking to have a major charge in 2019 for world titles.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming off it was a fight that I fell short in, but it was a fight that I enjoyed. It was a brutal war. I had a bit of a rest after that. Needed to let the body recharge, come back, and it's been a fantastic camp. And like I say, 2019, I want to really push on and get another shot, and I'll snatch it with both hands.
Obviously, we know you were injured in that camp, and you come up short making the weight for that fight. Definitely going to be campaigning at featherweight in 2019 for world titles. A great division, of course.
Oh, 100%. Featherweight's the division. You know, I can make featherweight no problem. The injury made that difficult last time, and it was what it was. And 2019, you're gonna, I'm very positive you're gonna see me become world champion again.
That's great, thank you, Scott. 2019, big year ahead. First, get the win on Saturday. First fight live on DAZN. Scott Quigg, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Before I go on to Ken, I think there are so many great fights on this card. Obviously 3 World Championship fights as well, a final eliminator for the IBF Featherweight World Championship, a rematch between Mark DeLuca as well and Wright. But this fight I think is one that could really steal the stage. If you haven't had a chance to watch Tommy Coyle fight yet, go on YouTube, particularly at the Daniel Brizuela fight. I think both guys down 4 or 5 times before Tommy Coyle got the victory in the last round of that fight. He's an outstanding fighter, recently won a Commonwealth lightweight title as well, making his professional debut. Was due to fight Danny O'Connor, who pulled out with injury, and Ryan Kielczewski stepped up to the plate. Again, another fighter that just comes every time for entertainment. I think this is going to be a 10-round war. Firstly, from Massachusetts, I'd like to welcome up to the stage Ryan Kielczewski. Ryan, I'm not sure if I said that right, but
I've heard worse.
Good,
so
good.
keep
Thank
going.
you, thank you. I'll try my best. But welcome.
Hey,
And
thanks for
a
having
lot of people who know you and know Tommy are expecting a great fight on Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be all-out war. It's just gonna be a fun fight to watch, fun fight for the fans.
Have you seen a lot of Tommy Coyle? Obviously, this fight was made just 3 or 4 weeks ago, and you came in as a replacement for Danny O'Connor, so you know what to expect from Tommy.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched a few fights on YouTube. Of course, most of his fights, he fought one guy that was like 6'2", so I'm like, I'm not gonna learn anything from that fight. And then another one was a lefty. But yeah, I saw some clips, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
A big chance for you on Saturday night. A win on Saturday could really take you through for some big fights at 135 pounds next year.
Yeah, yeah, this is definitely the toughest fight, and Tommy's definitely the toughest fight of my career by far. So a win with him, hopefully, either a huge money fight or a world title fight after that.
And finally, big crowd there on Saturday at the TD Garden. You're bringing a few yourself. Going to be a great night for Massachusetts boxing. Absolutely,
yeah. All my friends, all my family are going to be there, so I can't screw this one up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Kielczewski, thank you very much. Again, this young man has done it all in boxing. He's had stadium fights in the UK, had a great fight against Michael Katsidis as well. Recently stopped Masha Dodd for the Commonwealth lightweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, big welcome, making his US debut, Tommy Coyle, to the stage. Tommy, your Instagram for the last 8 weeks has just been about this fight, America, the American dream. We know you wear your heart on your sleeve, but what an occasion for you, and it looks set to be a great fight with Ryan on Saturday.
Yeah, 100%. Just want to say to everybody here today, thanks for having me. Boston's a very beautiful city. I had a good walk this morning. It's the American dream. I think every young kid in the UK growing up always wants to come over to America and fight. I was a massive Rocky fan, so it's just a dream come true to come over here and do what I love doing, and that's having a fight.
This fight, obviously, you were due to fight Danny O'Connor, southpaw, as well. This fight much more suited to the way you like to fight in terms of how it should entertain the fans, and expecting, as always, from you, a great fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to have to go find this kid. He's going to be stood there, and I think it's going to be fireworks. I think it's just going to go off. I think all the fans are going to absolutely love certainly the way I fight, and it's going to make for a great fight. I'm buzzing. I'm not coming over here to box a boring fight. I want to come here and entertain you all. I know the great Mickey Ward's from this city, and I'm a big fan, so hopefully you'll be watching.
And finally, I know you've achieved a lot in your career as a big win against Masha Dodd, but sometimes a great performance and an electric fight can lead to big opportunities this side of the pond.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not here to make the numbers up, make no mistake about it. I'm here to make my mark. I want the rest of my career to be over here in America on the DAZN and Matchroom Boxing USA promotions. So yeah, I'm here to put in a great performance and win in convincing style.
Thanks, Tommy. Ladies and gentlemen, set for a great fight on Saturday night. Tommy Coyle, thank you. I'm going to have a sit down. I'm going to welcome up to stage to talk about his heavyweight charge and of course this great rematch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome up Ken Casey from Murphy's Promotions.
How you doing, everybody? I want to obviously welcome Matchroom USA and DAZN to Boston, and first and foremost, thank the Boston Red Sox, who are always such good partners to the Dropkick Murphys, Murphys Boxing, really anybody that's a guest to the city. The organization is first class and has always treated me as such. So once again, they've opened their doors to us, and I can't think of a more fitting place to do this today with what's going on with the team and the big win last night. So like Eddie mentioned. Hopefully we get a big win tonight. I think the last time that I did boxing at the Garden about 7 years ago, we walked up 4,000 or 5,000 that day, and we're hoping that we don't have competition here that night. So, but anyway, regardless, it's going to be a great night, and part of that is because of, with this new platform. I mean, the first fight I want to talk about is our friend Niall Kennedy here, heavyweight from Ireland, and the Irish have always had a home here as fighters and always had big crowds. And when you see a show open with a heavyweight bout, between two undefeated heavyweights, and might I add, Niall's last fight here in June, people will call him the greatest New England heavyweight fight they'd ever seen, which is pretty impressive words, And so if you want to talk about fireworks, you want to talk about someone who's built a following and always pleases the crowd, it's Niall. And when a fight of this magnitude opens with two undefeated heavyweights, I think that speaks for what we're dealing with on Saturday night. And I know Niall's grateful for the opportunity and wanted to let him come up and say a few words about being here.
Yeah, I just want to thank Eddie and Ken for the opportunity. Massive platform, fantastic Irish bill as well for ourselves, so it's going to be enjoyable. My last fight was exciting, this fight will be exciting, and this man is undefeated as well, so it should be a bit of a war to start it in a good tone for the night, but anyone around get to it and show good Irish support. Thanks a million.
Man, a few words, I like that. By the way, Mickey will be there to watch, and when Mickey's ringside, there always seems to be a little bit more fireworks, when he's watching. And also want to acknowledge Ryan taking this fight on short notice and coming up in weight, and it's guys like him that make boxing exciting when they're not afraid of a challenge and they take chances, and I am also looking forward to Ryan and Tommy's fight. It's going to be great. What to me is one of the other huge things that people love about boxing is a rematch, and the story behind it. And the last fight on the same show as Niall, Walter Wright came across the country from Seattle and fought Mark DeLuca in front of 7,000 people in New Hampshire, and had a great fight, main event. And there was a little controversy on the judges' cards, but both parties are class acts and have kind of, put that in the past. And Walter's agreed to come back and have a rematch, and didn't need to, and showed Mark the respect to come back, and Mark deserves that respect. You're talking about a guy who's, in boxing, he shows up early, he works hard, former Marine. Great following, and I'm proud to work with him, and I think he's a great representative for boxing, and these two are going to have a much anticipated fight. So why don't we have Walter come up and welcome back.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming. My first comment was the controversy thing. I notice every interview, it's a controversy, but you come across the city, the state, and you fight a local guy and beat him, I should think I give my props for winning. I appreciate you guys for this rematch. Mark is a good fighter. I appreciate the opportunity to come and fight him again. It is going to be a good fight. I am here to win, so keep your eyes open.
I've got a question for you, Walter. You comfortable that you won the first fight? You on the judges' scorecards? I didn't see the fight, but I'm just interested to know. I knew when Ken was talking, I saw you roll your eyes a little bit, and when you were talking about the contract.
Of course I won. The judges also thought I won. I didn't get any controversial from the fans, from Mark. So yeah, of course I won.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. There's no luck in boxing. Okay.
Would you like to ask me the same question? You know,
I'm going to stay quiet now.
Yeah, well, it was styles makes fights, and I guess that's how you look at it. One judge had it 8 rounds to 4 for Mark, and 2 had it close the other way for Walter, and it did get reviewed by a panel of world-class judges who all had it 8 to 4 for Mark. But that being said, I'm only saying that because you brought it up, and Mark's not the type of guy to talk about that stuff. But regardless, what he said, he did come across the country and he fought the local guy, and he's back to fight the local guy, which is even more impressive. And you know, it will be decided in the ring this time for sure, and we're looking forward to it, and I want to hear from Mark.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to take a second and recognize a man that gave boxing mouth to mouth in this area. You know, because of his professionalism and the team that he surrounds himself with, he attracts, you know, mega promotional companies like Eddie Hearn and a couple other big promoters that have come to the city. So I'm really excited and honored to be with Ken here in Murphy's Boxing. I'd like to recognize Ken. Having that said, my trainer Hector Bermudez always working me hard in the gym, and I'm very prepared and ready for Walter Wright. We shared 12 rounds together, so there should be no feeling out. I've known Walter. I've watched him on The Contender. I was a fan of him, and you know, anyone that knows Walter knows he comes to fight. He's very experienced. He's slick, and you know, I got all the respect for him. Yeah, the first fight was the first fight. I mean, we're fighters. We're not judges. We're not refs. We're not promoters. You know, we go into the bell rings of fights, and whatever happens, happens. So no animosity, but you know, I'm here to bring a good show on Saturday. Do my best to do my best, and thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, guys. We're going to break now. We're going to have head-to-heads with Mark and Walter, and also Ryan and Tommy up the front here. And then we have a couple of minutes, and then we're going to reset for the World Championship press conference as well. Thank you.
You want to go?
Nice Con Clary and his undefeated opponent fighting out of Sheffield, the former British, Commonwealth and European, WBC International and IBF Intercontinental Champion, introducing the undefeated Kid Galahad.
Yes, pass. Yes, pass.
to the cameras, guys.
Nervous, but I'm in the program. Eliminated later on. So I do.
Gentlemen, if you could please now take your seats.
Welcome all. The first of our discussed fights here today, of course, 3 World Championship fights on this card, but this fight, the final eliminator for the IBF Featherweight Championship of the World. You think you see Carl Frampton somewhere over here. The winner of this fight will fight the winner of Carl Frampton against Josh Warrington in December for the IBF World title. This is a great matchup ordered by the IBF. Toka, first of all, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Over on the West Coast there, we've seen you in camp with actually Scott Quigg as well, and Freddie Roach. Tell us about your camp, how it's gone.
My camp went great. I had the opportunity to work with tremendous fighters. I had the opportunity to work with world-class, world champions, Olympians, gold medalists. Camp was great. We didn't cut no corners. We did all we had to do. Camp was great. We just ready to go in there and show the world what we can do.
Huge support coming down from Providence. I know you've got support coming also. Demetrius has sold a huge amount of tickets coming as well. This is a massive opportunity for your career on Saturday.
Absolutely. This is a big opportunity for me. My team, my camp, we know what this means, and we prepared very hard. You know, we didn't cut no corners. We did everything we had to do, and come fight now, we're gonna show it in there.
Talking about your opponent, obviously an undefeated fighter as well. What have you seen from him in the footage that you've watched and prepared with Freddie?
He's a good fighter. I take nothing from him. He's undefeated. He comes to fight. He's a good boxer. He's a good little boxer. My camp, we went over everything. We prepared. We had the right sparring, and come fight now. We just gonna have to put in the work. We know what we got to do.
And finally, you obviously you believe you're going to win this fight and go and challenge for the IBF World title. Do you think you win this inside the distance on Saturday night, or do you think it might go to decision?
You know, we prepare to go to distance. If it goes to distance, we know we're going to be ready for it. But if I hit him with that, you know, he might have to go. He has to go.
Barry, this is the opportunity you've been waiting for a long time. I mean, you've been undefeated. You've been in some big fights, but some fights that you probably treading water in, and now it's time to finally try and become mandatory for the winner of Frampton against Warrington.
This fight is a very important fight for me. It makes me #1 contender. So, you know, we get to fight the winner of Josh Warrington and Carl Frampton, and can't run no more. But you know, first of all, got to do a job on this kid, like you said. Make sure you do a job on this kid and get him out of the way and secure the fight.
There was plenty of contenders in the IBF that decided not to face you. Toka did. Every one of them you said yes to, and Dominic said yes to as well. What do you expect in the challenge against Toka on Saturday?
Toka's good, you know. He comes from a good amateur pedigree. You know, he's a good southpaw. He does everything well. You know, he's not great at anything, but he does everything well. And Saturday night, you know, I'm gonna go in there, do what I gotta do. You know, I'll figure him out within a round or two, and then, you know, look for that shot to, you know, to put him to sleep.
Obviously, you are from the UK. There's UK fights on the card, but you are in America, and he'll have plenty of support in the arena. Important to produce a convincing performance on Saturday night. And are you going for that stoppage victory?
Listen, it is what it is. You know, I'm gonna do what I've got to do to win that fight. You know. If it means, you know, I'm a winner, Eddie, I'm a winner, and when you're a winner, you find a way to win, and that's all that matters. You know, I don't think about losing, I think about going in there and doing a number on this kid. Like he said, he's ready. Freddie Roach has got him ready. You know, I've been to Freddie Roach's gym, you know, 2 or 3 times, and inside there, you know, they train hard, and they don't mess about. The thing is, you know, he's saying he's been sparring world-class operators like Scott Quigg. I think he might be sparring a bit wrong there. You know, because obviously Scott Quigg's like a punch bag. You know, if he thinks I'm going to be there to get hit, you know, when you get in that ring, you're soon going to realise I'm not there to get hit.
Okay, this fight going to be for the mandatory position for the IBF guys. Microphones on the chair one more time to the tape for the cameras. And this fight going to be one of our early fights on the card about 9 PM. IBF final eliminator, QUIGG GALAHAD against Toka Khan.
One bite. levels. Go,
Don't be scared, everyone. You can clap your hands out there, all right? Make some noise for these fighters. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the IBF Super Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing to the stage first, please welcome this gentleman fighting out of Belfast, Northern Ireland. He's the reigning Commonwealth and European champion. He's ranked number 6 by the IBF and number 1 by the WBA. The assassin, James Tennyson. And the reigning, defending IBF Super Featherweight Champion of the World, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Idol, Tevin Farmer. We're going to face him off.
I want that smoke tag.
Gentlemen, if you could please now take your seats.
Thank you, gents. This is a wonderful matchup, and this fight, IBF Super Featherweight World Championship. We also want to take our time to acknowledge DeBella Entertainment, Lou DeBella and Alex Dombrov, and the team in the house for working together with Tevin Farmer, a guy who has a fantastic story. You know, came out, started out his career, looked like he wasn't particularly going anywhere, completely turned his life around, his career around, got robbed for the IBF title in America, then travelled to Australia to win the IBF title and now defends it for the first time in Boston on Saturday night. Some huge fights ahead for him, unification fights, of course, a lot of beef with Gervonta Davis as well, but a massive test for him on Saturday night against a guy who we've worked with for some time in James Tennyson. He's coming off the back of a huge victory against Martin J. Ward for the European title, Commonwealth title as well. He's a huge puncher and will have massive Irish support in the arena on Saturday night. James, firstly, we know as always you're going to be in tremendous shape. A dream opportunity for you to challenge for the world title on Saturday night.
Yeah, dream opportunity, like you say. Looking forward to getting in there tonight. You know, training camp was unbelievable. It was tough, but I know it's going to be rewarding. I'm in the shape of my life, and you know, looking forward to getting in there tonight and getting the show on the road.
It was a big win for you last time out. You were the slight underdog against Martin Ward, but obviously winning that European title. You've been WBA number 2 and 1 for a while now. You feel that now is your chance to make this challenge, and you've deserved that spot.
Yeah, definitely. You know, feel I've deserved this spot. I've worked my way up. You know, I'm here. You know, ready to go. I'm in the shape of my life. So yeah, I feel like I deserve it. And I'm ready to get the job done.
I know you would have studied Tevin Farmer. Talk about him as a fighter. Obviously a great technician. A lot of people are talking about this fight as the puncher against the technician. But we know you can box as well. But expecting a tricky night against Tevin Farmer?
Yeah, no doubt. You know, listen, the guy's got bags of skills. He's a real good operator. You know, there's some story behind him throughout his career. So yeah, I'm expecting a tough night, and he's going to be a tricky opponent. But I'm more than ready.
And you believe you have the power to end this fight inside the distance on Saturday night?
Absolutely, yeah.
Tevin, it's been a great story for you achieving this World Championship, and I know you're going to be very proud defending it on Saturday night. A lot of people talking about the future, but also you know that anything can happen in that ring. You've seen it in your career, and a big fight for you on Saturday.
Absolutely. First, I want to thank everybody for coming out, because they could have been anywhere but here tonight, so I'm happy. Well, not tonight. But yeah, I mean, he trained hard like I trained hard. This is an opportunity. I know how I feel to want to be a world champion. And when you want to be a world champion, you want to come and give it your best of your best. So I know on Saturday night, he's going to come and try to take me out of here. But you don't become a world champion for no reason, and I'm ready.
Do you feel that, you know, a lot of people say that if you've overlooked James Tennyson, that this could be a tough night for you? Have you overlooked James Tennyson? I mean, a lot of people talking about future fights, or you know the threat on Saturday and you're fully focused for just this fight ahead.
I mean, people can say what they want, overlooking this, overlooking that. At the end of the day, I can write 1,000 things on Instagram, Twitter, but best believe we're in the gym every day working for Tennyson. So, sometimes I just let people talk, you know. As long as me and my team know what we got to do and what needs to be done. For me, it's been like damn near 20 weeks in camp, 21 weeks. I did a 13-week camp when I fought Billy I fought on Saturday. I was back in the gym on Monday, back in camp for this fight. So I'm ready. I'm coming in shape, and if they think they're gonna walk through me, they got another thing coming. A lot of fighters say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna knock them out." Or look at a fight that I fought recently since 2013, and you name a fighter that backed me up.
Again, I'll ask you the same question. A lot of people talking about the technician against the puncher. Are you wary of his power, and do you think that your skill will be the dominant factor on Saturday?
To answer your question, no, I'm not worried about nobody's power. And yes, skills pay the bills. Everybody that I fought was supposed to be a harder puncher than me, or whatever the case may be, but they always find themselves being backed up. Ivan Redcats, I fought him at 135. I moved up to fight him. He came in 160 and still couldn't get the job done. He was the big puncher, and I backed him up. So we're going to see on Saturday.
And finally, on Saturday night, come probably midnight, Tevin Farmer still the IBF champion.
Absolutely, and still, and I'm gonna say it again. After that, I want to beat on Tank ass, Gervonta Davis.
Okay, guys. Again, microphones down. So have one more head-to-head. The IBF Super Featherweight Championship of the World. James Tennyson against Tevin Farmer on Saturday night.
Big Ten! Big Ten!
Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause. Tennyson and Farmer. Opponent, ladies and gentlemen, the 2012 Olympic gold medalist, the undefeated, reigning, defending WBA and IBF lightweight champion of the world, fighting out of Bray, Ireland, Katie Taylor. Please take your seats.
Thank you, thank you. This fight, a great fight, the WBA IBF Lightweight Women's World Championship between two great stars of the sport. Of course, we know about the Serrano sisters. Cindy, a former world champion as well. Amanda has done it all in the sport of boxing, and even a great MMA victory last Saturday on DAZN as well. Katie Taylor is a real standout in the sport of boxing. Forget women's or men's boxing. Just a great fighter and a great star of the sport. 5-time world champion, 6-time European champion as an amateur, and of course Olympic gold medalist in 2012, and quickly captured the WBA world title and unified for the IBF world title recently as well. Cindy, welcome. A lot of people talking about this fight. We know you and your sister love a challenge. Expecting a great fight on Saturday.
Absolutely. When the call came, Jordan said, want to fight Taylor? I said, hell yeah. You know, this is what opportunities are for. I mean, we're two great females. Females don't get a lot of recognition. So we said, let's do it. I mean, got the best with the best and let the best woman win.
Obviously moving up in weight to take this challenge as well, and we see that a lot in women's boxing as well. You're comfortable up at 135 pounds and ready for action on Saturday.
Yeah, I fought as heavy as 154. Females, you just gotta go up and down. You gotta go where, you know, where the fights make sense. And this fight does make sense. She's an awesome fighter, and it just made sense, so we did it. And who doesn't like to eat? So I said, let's do it.
We're seeing now in women's boxing, virtually every show has got a world championship fight. Our first show in Chicago had Jessa McCaskill winning the 140 WBC title. It's great to see women's fight getting so much recognition. Next week at the Garden, we have Heather Hardy challenging for your old title, actually a WBO title. But now women's boxing really coming to the forefront, and people find it extremely entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to you. I mean, you have done a lot for the sport, and so has Lou DeVella. I've been a veteran for 16 years, and unfortunately, I got the end of the stick. But I mean, yeah, female fighting is where it's at. I believe we fight hard. There's a lot of us who fight with skills, like myself, and we're entertaining. And at the end of the day, we are beautiful. So.
And finally, expecting a frantic fight on Saturday. We know Katie fights at a very fast pace, and ready for those 10 tough rounds at the TD Garden on Saturday.
Absolutely, you know who's my number one sparring partner. I mean, to say no names, but yeah, I mean, styles make fight. Katie hasn't fought anyone that has my style, and we're ready. We're training hard, 10 rounds. I'm in great shape. I'm excited for the fight. I'm hype. I'm amped. So it's gonna be a great fight, and it'll definitely go the distance. And hopefully, may the best woman win. I mean, if it's me, it's me. If it's her, it's her. But it's gonna be a definitely entertaining fight for 10 rounds.
Thank you. All 10 rounds, yeah?
All 10 rounds.
Okay. Katie, welcome. This feels like a real homecoming for you. Obviously, we know you haven't had the opportunity to fight in Ireland yet, but going to be huge support for you on Saturday night. I've seen you on the front pages of all the newspapers here this week. Really looking forward to defending your world titles.
Yeah, I can't wait. This is going to be like a home from home. We're really here in Boston, and I hear there's going to be a huge Irish contingent in the stadium on Saturday evening to be on the same card as the likes of James Tennyson fighting for world title as well. And Niall Kennedy, Sean McCoon. There's going to be there's obviously a lot of Irish fighters on the card, and yeah, I can't wait for it.
You've had it your way so far, and there's been some great fights. As you're stepping up now, the competition is improving. Expecting a tough fight from Cindy on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's going to be my toughest fight to date as a pro. She's obviously very experienced. She's a top season pro. These are the type of fights that I absolutely relish. This is why I turned professional 2 years ago, to be involved in fights like this. Yeah, I had a really great training camp, and I feel in great shape.
I'll ask you the same question as well. All these female fights with Jessie Caskill, a former opponent of you, winning the World Championship last week. This fight, Heather Hardy next weekend. Clarissa Shields is doing great things as well. Brilliant time for women's boxing.
A great time for women's boxing. I think it's great that people's perceptions are definitely changing of the sport, where we're getting having an opportunity to fight in these platforms. And yeah, this is a great time for women's boxing. It's on a high at the moment, and there's plenty of great fights out there. And there's definitely no shortage of fights in and around the lightweight division, which is fantastic for myself.
Fantastic. It's going to be a great fight. Two great fighters. Credits to the sport of boxing. The IBF and the WBA lightweight championships of the world on Saturday night between Cindy Serrano and Katie Taylor. Ladies, if you just step up there for one more face-to-face. Big round of applause, please, for these two challenging for the world title on Saturday night.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the main event of the evening, Saturday night at TD Garden, all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing USA in association with Murphy's Boxing. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the vacant WBO middleweight championship of the world. Two undefeated fighters, the WBO ranked #1 and the WBO ranked #2 fighters. Now introducing them to the stage. Making his way from Windhoek, Namibia. Ladies and gentlemen, the WBO African champion, the executioner, Óscar Valdez. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, the 2008 Olympian, the undefeated former WBA and WBO super welterweight champion of the world, from Providence, Rhode Island, Demetrius Andrade.
Let's do this, baby.
Onto the camera, please.
Gentlemen, please take your seats.
Thank you, guys. We're here on the final fight of the evening, our main event, the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. This division and these titles, some of the most prestigious in the sport of boxing. Of course, Demetrius Andrade, a former two-time world champion, on Saturday night looks to become a three-time two-weight world champion in the sport of boxing. And his opponent, Andrade-Kautondokwa, of course, come in after the failed drug test of Billy Joe Saunders, which was the original mandatory challenge for Demetrius Andrade. This fight, we want to acknowledge the WBO as well, made for the full middleweight title on Saturday night. And of course, I want to thank MTC Sunshine and Nesta as well. Great people to work with. It's an absolute credit to you and your fighting team that you have fighters that are ready and ready to fight, because probably 4 weeks ago we made the call to you and said there is an opportunity that Walter could get a shot at the world title. The deal was done in a couple of hours, and now you have a chance to have a world champion on your books again. For those who don't know Nestor and the team, they had another fighter called Julius Ndongo, who got an opportunity to fight Troyansky in Russia. He turned up, he knocked out Troyansky in the first round and become world champion, IBF world champion. He then unified against Ricky Burns in Scotland and beat him as well, and then had an undisputed fight against Terence Crawford. And I know that Walter will be taking encouragement for that. Walter, welcome. A big opportunity for you on Saturday night to become world champion.
Oh, thank you. First of all, I would like to greet everybody and thank God for this day that He has added in our life. So I'm really happy to be here, and I thank God for the opportunity that I got to fight for the world title.
People don't know a huge amount of you. Obviously, most of your bouts have been in Africa. Everybody talks about your power and your punching power. Is that the key for you on Saturday night, or do you have to be smart in there as well against a very good fighter in Andrade?
No, power is not the key, but the grace of God is the key upon my life. So everything that I do it by the grace of God. So I don't really do everything on my own, because I do not live by myself, and God is the one that strengthens me. So everything that I'm doing is just by the grace of God, and I don't go in the fight looking for power. I just go in the fight to do the fight that I have to do.
And you have the belief that on Saturday night you can win this fight and become world champion?
Saturday, I'm going to do what I always do. I know I'll go with the belt at Namibia.
The world championship goes home to Namibia.
Obviously, it's going to Namibia.
Good. We look forward to that. Demetrius, ups and downs in this camp. The preparation hasn't been great for Walter, but the preparation has been great in terms of your physical attributes and your focus in this fight. Let's talk just briefly, so we get that out of the way, about obviously the change of opponent, the focus in camp of fighting a slick southpaw to switching to fighting a more orthodox puncher in Walter.
Yeah, so I'm give a lot of that credit to the amateur program. Growing up in the amateur program, we would go on the scale, make weight, and whatever the bracket said is who we had to fight, and we only made adjustments when we got in the ring. So, I'm confident in myself and my abilities and everything that this training camp has and the training team has put me through to be prepared and able to fight whoever comes my way. So, when we get in there, we will make the adjustments, the proper adjustments we need to do, and to come out with that belt.
Obviously, the signing of Canelo to DAZN recently. Danny Jacobs fights for the World Championship next week as well. Canelo has 2 belts as well. A massive opportunity for you to be up there in all those big fights if you can become world champion on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I do appreciate Walters taking this last minute. And at the end of the day, a lot of people don't understand too. Either or, we would have to get in the ring with Walter, regardless if I was fighting Billy Joe or not. So he's here for a reason. He's here, and he made himself believe that he can get in shape in enough time to, prepare to fight me. So he's here now, and may the best man win, like I tell everybody. But he's definitely not stopping his train out.
Obviously, there's been inactivity in your career on Saturday night. You're expected to win this fight on Saturday with the pundits, with the public. Does that add its own pressure as well? And do you feel pressure to put in a great performance on Saturday?
I'm just going there and be me. That's all I've been doing, and that's all I can do. And the more pressure, the better I am. So bring it all on, Eddie.
And finally as well, going to be around 7,000 in the Garden on Saturday night. We know that you and Ed and your team have brought huge support up from Providence as well. It's going to be a great atmosphere. That national anthem playing out. A massive moment in your career, like I said, to try and become a 2-weight, 3-time world champion.
Yeah, I've been in 2 world championships titles, so I know what it takes. I know what deep waters is. I know what the hunger is. I know what you need to prevail. So, New England come out. Boston Red Sox been doing a great job. Patriots, New England been winning. Boston Bruins, and now it's Demetrius Andrade's turn. So we're making history, and it's going to be a historic night.
Thanks, Demetrius. Respect. A great fight for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World on Saturday night at the Garden. We'll see you for the weigh-in tomorrow. Finally, gentlemen, you put your microphones down and one more head-to-head. Good luck on Saturday night. Thank you, guys. Thank you.